So I have changed the dimensions to 3, 4. So we have 3 rows and 4 columns. So you can see the change in the arrangement accordingly in the output. We will try executing the other commands too. As you can see on the screen, we are able to get the relevant values based on the output shown on the screen. So we have changed the array to a 3 by 4 array, and the values in the corresponding positions are displayed in the output. Does anyone want to try any other value? So we can try accessing single values or multiple values based on the row and column positions. Any suggestions, students? Okay, Manisha says 2, 3. Thanks, Manisha. So in the second row and third column, we have the value, the artist, and it's displayed on the screen. It's good to see participation from new people. Let me move on to the next concept, which is matrices. So as already said, matrices are nothing but two-dimensional arrays, and the properties of matrices are the same as that of vectors and arrays. The various functions that are applicable to matrices are number of rows, number of columns, and dimensions. Let's see how these functions can be applied to a matrix. So in the example shown on the screen, first we are creating a list, and then we are trying to create a matrix with 3 rows and 3 columns. So this is how the matrix will look like. Obviously, the values will be populated column wise. So if we want to populate the values row wise, then we can do it by writing the condition by row equal to true. Now the values will be filled row wise. So from the output, we see that the values are filled row wise rather than the default column wise. We are trying to select a range of values. That is, in the row position, we are selecting second and third rows, and in column position, we are selecting first and second columns. So the set of values which fall under this condition are the wave, whiplash, the ring, and the artist. So we can perform other operations on matrices too, like addition of two matrices, multiplication of two matrices, comparing the values in two matrices, etc. First, we are creating two matrices A and B. So the matrix A has values 1 to 4 with two rows and two columns, because there are only four values, and if there are two rows, obviously there should be two columns. The next matrix is 3, 4, 5, and 6. So four values with two rows and hence two columns. So this is how both the matrices will look like. We will start performing operations based on the functions applicable to matrices. So number of rows in A is 2. N row means number of rows. N col means number of columns in A is 2. And dimension of A, that is number of rows followed by number of columns. It is 2 and 2 here. So let's do A plus B. So when A plus B is done, the value in the first position of A and the value in the first position of B is added. The value of second position in A and the value of second position in B is added, and so on. So if you see, the value of first position in A is 1 and the first position in B is 3. So 1 plus 3 is 4, and the same is applicable for others too. Likewise, for multiplication, the same concept is applicable. The value in the first position and the value in the value in the first position of A and B are multiplied. So please don't confuse it with matrix multiplication. Matrix multiplication, we do it generally in a different way. That is different from how RStudio does. RStudio simply multiplies values in similar positions. So now we are checking whether the values in both the matrices are same. That is, we are comparing the values. As you can see, the values in the matrix A and matrix B are not the same in any position. Hence, it returns false. In case if the values in the same positions of A and B are the same, true will be returned in the result. Now let's try executing them in RStudio. So we are able to get the same output as we saw in the PPT. Now let's try to populate the values row-wise. So you can see the values being populated row wise instead of the default column wise. So now we are selecting the second and third rows first and then the first and second columns. So when we select the second and third rows, the Wave, Whiplash, Star Wars, The Ring, The Artist, Jumanji, these 6 values will be selected. And when first and second columns are selected, only 4 values will be at the end: the Wave, The Ring, Whiplash, and The Artist. So since only these 4 values satisfy the condition that we have given, we are getting these 4 values as output. Let's try the other operations too. So we are able to get the same output as we saw in the PPT. Let me try to just make few changes in this. Now I have made RStudio to populate or arrange the values row wise rather than column wise. Let us see what are the outputs. So you can see that the outputs are different since the values are arranged row wise rather than column wise. So we have tried different combinations. So does anyone want to try any other operation? We have done addition, multiplication, and compared values. We can do subtraction or division. So which one do you want me to do? Okay, division. subtraction. Cool. We will do both. So I have performed division and subtraction. For division, we are getting decimal values, that is values such as 0.5, 0.6, 0.75, 0.8, etc. And in subtraction, we are getting all -1. Okay, now let's move on to the next data structure, which is roundup values. So Thanos, by default, it will give only decimal values. So if you want, you can convert them into integers by giving L at the end. So data frames is one of the most useful data structures. Okay. How to create three-dimensional array? So generally we don't go beyond 2 dimensions. So since we have not used more than 2 dimensions, I am not sure how to create a three-dimensional array. Definitely such an array won't be required as of now. So data frames are nothing but tables. So you know how a table looks like. A table will have n number of rows and n number of columns. Obviously, each column will be of a different data type, and each row will contain values of a particular entity. So let's say details about a person, details about a product, etc. Also, in a data frame, each column will have values of the same data type, which is nothing but a vector, and all columns will have the same number of values. Similarly, all rows will have the same number of values, and each row is a list because each row will contain a collection of values of different data types. In the example shown on the screen, we are creating a data frame with 2 columns, name and year. Let's see how the output looks like. So the output will be a table with 2 columns and 8 rows. We are given 8 values for each variable as input, and hence we are getting 8 rows as output. We can select the values of a particular variable or column. So here we are trying to display the values of the first column, that is name. So we know what this means, right? So in the row position, we have not given any values, and in the column position, we have given 1. So all values in the first column will be displayed. That is, all the values in the column name will be displayed. If we want to display the values of the column name in the form of a column, that is, here it's displayed in the form of a row. If you want to display it in the form of a column, you have to give drop equal to false. Similarly, we can select elements in specific positions. So movies of 1, 2 means the value in the first row and second column. So we have 1995 in the first row and second column. Hence, it is displayed as output. In the last example, we are trying to display the values in the first and second rows and the second column. In the first and second rows, we have Toy Story 1995, Akira 1998, and in the second column, we have 1995 and 1998. Hence, we have 1995 and 1998 as output. We will try executing them in RStudio.